Hey, Matt, thanks for joining me. Looks like we are up today, and we also have a rise in oil after those tankers were attacked near Iran. Do you think that this is a one-off event, or will we see oil continue to rise?
You know what's funny is that we were worried about oil breaking through 50 up until this morning. It hasn't really even recouped yesterday's losses after the inventory numbers. So we're right about unchanged after 2 days. So this move today really isn't going to give me a great reason to go in and buy oil right now. There's still bigger concerns between China and the U.S. and the trade war, demand issues, supply issues here in the U.S. We're producing so much oil right now that we really don't need as much as we used to from the OPEC type nations. So we'd have to, this bears watching, but I think it's probably more a one-off kind of rally, more of a relief rally than anything else.
Well, oil bulls did not just get a sign of relief, but the reason I ask is because import prices fell for the first time in 5 months, led by a sharp decline in fuel costs. How important does oil play into future inflation and rates?
Well, obviously, they're going to be looking at it because that's one of the major barometers to it, right? It's always ex fuel or with fuel. So it's going to pay an enormous impact. But, again, these one-off events, you have to be taken in a much broader period. You have to look in 3 months out. Now all indexes and averages, you want to smooth them out a little bit. We saw Friday's inventory payroll data, more importantly. Is that a one-off? Was February a one-off? Was April a one-off on the upside? So you don't want to take anything particularly with too much importance. You've got to smooth it out a little bit. So right now the Fed's got a lot to look at. They got a week to do it. They're in a quiet period. So be interesting to see what they come out with Wednesday and what they're actually following.
Do you see a rate cut in the summer?
It certainly feels that way, even if it's just to get us back in line to correct what's now being called a mistake raise in December. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I think they were behind the curve as far as raising. They should have been doing it a lot earlier. They were a little late in the cycle. So, looks like most people were forecasting maybe three rate cuts this year by the end of the year. So if we're going to get one, why not get one sooner rather than later? Maybe get the economy back on the right track. I would imagine it's going to go a long way to the relations between U.S. China as well. I would imagine the administration wants a rate cut before they make a China-U.S. deal because that's also going to be a boon for the market.
Sure. And now real estate has been doing really well. It's the second best performer after technology. Do you think this has some ground to it?
Well, it's an alternative investment, right? And if you're investing in a REIT, generally they pay a nice yield as well. So, if you're going to move your money out of the market, you're a little bit concerned about where the market's headed or have we topped out. What are you looking to buy? It's going to be a cryptocurrency. Well, it might be a part of your portfolio. It's going to be gold. That's a small part. But real estate becomes more of a viable attraction to insulate your portfolio to any kind of major move.
Certainly not like Beyond Meat. Why is that being called a cult stock, and is it dangerous to trade?
It's certainly, I don't want to say it's dangerous. It's volatile. When you see moves that we saw when it went from, 120 to 160, 160 back to 130, that's not for the average investor, I don't think. If you're going to want to buy these, we've had 2 successful IPOs in the last 2 days, in the technology space. We had CrowdStrike and we had Fiverr, and these were smaller floats. They've had plenty of pop to the upside. And they're a little bit cheaper in price. So, IPOs all kind of, they have a short shelf life as far as the excitement that's around them. Beyond Meat now has to really meet expectations now. And they have a lot of credibility beat up, but can they get there? And will money move out of some of the recent IPOs into some of the ones that we're expecting over the next week, with one tomorrow being Chewy?
Listen to that. We have Chewy, Fiverr, meat. It all ties in, and now I'm hungry. So, Matt, let's head to our lunch break. Thank you so much. We'll see you next Thursday.
All right, Vaz, anytime.